Palantir is killing it, and that's in a good way, of course, out in the UK, transforming healthcare in their NHS system. And this does not seem to be slowing down too with the results that they're posting and some unexpected plans by the NHS themselves. So they're already seeing a variance in trust using him versus not, where Palantir's Federated Data Platform, or FDP, is able to treat 114 more patients a month on average. And note, this is just the beginning stages. They highlight the big numbers at the top. 114 more inpatient theaters are being performed on average every month since introducing the tool, and that's according to NHS England. There are 87 NHS acute hospital trusts and 28 integrated care boards that have signed up so far, so not necessarily fully online yet, but they're interested. And specifically for South Tyneside and Underland, they reported a 37% reduction in the number of days patients remained in the hospital after they were ready to go home. So these are massive results that compound not only financially, but health-wise too for their population, which I'll give my thoughts on during the article. So in regards to the amount of trusts already signed up, published over 2 months ago, they had around 75 acute trusts signed up, so after the initial push. Now they're still getting new hospitals and ICBs signed up so far for the FDP, and as we know, the main purpose for the FDP is to tie together disparate data, which allows their staff to get a full picture of patients and their journeys across the health system to remove redundancy and as well act quickly and accurately for what's actually needed medically. And they're happy to note that over 100 signups, as mentioned. Now, the benefits are that they're already seeing is identifying those who've been on the waiting list the longest, as well as highlighting issues preemptively that could lead to cancellations on the day of for these procedures, as well as the understanding when operating theaters are available and ready so they could speed up the discharges and treating patients sooner. This has led to dozens of more patients each month, which may sound small right now. But if you're the guy waiting in line next for surgery, or at least a few people down, treating the 10 people in front of you much faster means you get to go much faster yourself. And across the whole health system, that really adds up. Now, for the future, we know there are talks about not requiring trusts to sign up, but seems this has changed over the course where they're informing trusts they must begin using the FDP within 2 years. So it's still a significant runway, especially for those who may have already done heavy investments into a legacy system and need a longer integration period. Now, when it comes to that 37% reduction in patient days, for someone like myself that works in healthcare data, this is major. Specifically on projects right now, I look at readmission rates and how fast that's happening, and we obviously want that to go out longer because you don't want them to go back to a hospital. But the length of time sooner someone sits in the hospital is also a major concern on how long they're just being there, especially on the financial end first, as well as the risk around hospital-acquired infections. And then another big point too is the quality of life for their staff. I'm suspecting this will be less impactful on, say, acute or emergency care, since there are a lot more unpredictable factors. But at least for the surgical theaters, they are mostly scheduled ahead of time for elective procedures. This is no doubt probably getting a huge boost from the better visibility. As well, this helps the emergency surgeries because now they have a better picture of what they can work around. And it's important to note too, this is not a one-size-fits-all. Palantir seems to be the master of scalable, standardized, but also customizable software where the hospital trust can focus and build on the applications that are most valuable to them at that time. Then, over more periods of time, this can become out-of-the-box applications for other trusts that go online later on. So it's amazing work here from Palantir at the NHS so far. We know huge dollar amounts from the contract before were thrown out until landing on the smaller over £300 million one. But this integration is showing that Palantir is embedding themselves more and more, not because plain dependence per se and vendor lock-in, but due to the numbers that are showing real results. They are improving the lives of the parties involved here, everyone it seems. You've got administrators saving on costs and coordination and getting a happier patient population as well, who's getting seen much more sooner and quickly with less redundancies, as well as the healthcare workers themselves dealing with slightly more predictable schedules that is enabled by the admins, of course, to staff more appropriately. So it's curious to know your thoughts below on all this, and I'll see you in the next video.